Hello, I am Silver Hypnosis, and I'm just going to cut to the chase. There's going to be some, what you might call triggering topics in this recording. So if you're not comfortable with talks of, like, crisis and mental health and suicide and things like that, I won't hold it against you for not listening, but I did not want to make this video, but I feel like I absolutely need to because of the situation I'm currently in and the crisis that I'm currently dealing with. So, hopefully, everybody will forgive me for making this because I don't feel good making it, but I feel like, I'm in a situation where my pride is not worth suffering over, basically. So, long story short, for those of you who have known me a very long time, you'll know that I'm autistic, and that for basically the majority of my adult life, I've been the full-time caregiver of my mother, who is, how should we say, not particularly well. She has a lot of physical problems, and I've basically been picking up the slack. The problem is that she has recently, within the last few months, developed either bipolar 1 or paranoid schizophrenia. I don't know which. And the doctors don't know which. But she's basically hallucinating constantly and spends all night screaming and throwing things at the walls. And that's nightmarish on its own. But because she's having these problems, she's called the police a lot. And as a result, we're being evicted. And we need to be out of the house and moved in 3 weeks. And really, I don't know where we're going to live yet. And I don't know how we're going to afford it yet, and I don't know what we're going to do yet. Everything's kind of up in the air. And things are really bad right now for me, essentially. If you want to know how bad they are for me, last night I checked myself into the hospital so that I wouldn't off myself. That's how bad we're at, okay? That's where we're at in terms of dealing with things. And I don't know where we're going to be living, and I don't know if we're going to have internet. I don't know what we're going to, what kind of situation we're going to be in terms of, living. I don't know. I'm doing my best to try and find a place to live and then schedule, movers and everything else. But, I don't know if we're actually going to, make that time or not, because, again, we're being evicted. So, I don't know what my situation is going to be. I don't know where I'm going to be living. I don't know if we're going to be living together. I don't know if we're going to be, homeless. I don't know what the situation's going to be. I am not in a good place in terms of stability or anything else, because again, everything is kind of up in the air, and we essentially need to find a place, move, and hopefully get everything set up on short notice in the hopes that, my mother either gets into the treatment she needs, or at the very least does not get evicted again for her behavior that she can't really control because she's not sane. And I mean, I'm not trying to exaggerate or anything about the situation I'm in. When you've had to go to the courts to have somebody, emergency petitioned to the hospital because they've attacked you, several times, it's rough. And, I feel like I need to both, explain this, because I need to be like, look, here's the situation. I don't know when I'm going to be able to make content in the near future. I don't know where I'm going to be, beyond this. I don't know what the situation's going to be. Everything is kind of, up in the air, as I said. Now, I've told a few people on my Patreon, this. I got a few people reaching out, and they said, hey, do you have like a coffee or whatever they call it? And I'm like, no, I don't. But I set one up because it doesn't take very long, and the link to that is in the description. So if any of you feel obligated, or not obligated, but if you feel like you'd like to do that, it's entirely optional. Please don't feel like you have to. Please don't sacrifice or suffer on my account. But because I'm in a crisis situation, because I am essentially suddenly not sure what's going to happen, I feel the need to do something. And even though I feel really bad about, posting this and making this, I feel like my pride is not worth suffering, basically. I feel like I need to, at the very least, so that, I'm not suddenly homeless and everything, needs to get back to where it was, hopefully. But it's going to be a very rough road, and I don't know what that's going to entail. So, there is a Ko-Fi link, or a Ko-Fi link in the description. If you want to donate, feel free. If you don't, that's also fine. But I felt I should at least reach out, let everybody know what my living situation is, which is to say, I have no idea what it is. And I'm going to do as best I can to try and figure out a place to live, and move in 3 weeks. So who knows? That's just kind of the situation that we're in right now. Anyway, that's everything. And honestly, I thought this video would be much longer, but it's a really stressful situation, and I'm trying my best not to end up in the hospital again. So, yeah, that's the situation. If you want to help me out, you can. If not, that's also fine. But the link is there, and now everybody is up to speed on, the situation as it is. So, thank you to anyone who helps me out. I'll try to repay you somehow, some way in the future. But for now, I'm kind of stuck, and I hope that I'm not just gonna lose internet and lose everything and be living out of my car, basically, because things are not good, and I don't know what we're gonna do. So that's the situation. Thanks again for anyone who helps me out. Thanks again for supporting me anyway. Just viewing, sharing my stuff helps me out immensely. So yeah, hopefully next time you hear from me, everything's better, but I really don't know where we're going to be at the moment, so I can't make any promises. So hopefully see y'all later. Thanks.